Hi everyone, it's Giselle here with um a bit of a explanation, I suppose, with regards to my experience and other people's experiences about the true twin, the false twin, or whatever you may call it. Um, some people don't like the terminology false twin, but I'll just stick to that because it kind of explains more from my point of view what it actually is. Um, Basically, I get people asking me, what is the difference between the two? How do I know whether I'm with a true or a false twin? And how I would say it is, I had a really deep think about the differences in meeting both people in my life. And I noticed how I felt within. So before I met my false twin, we were in what I felt were deep and meaningful conversations, over email for a very long time. And through that, I felt really close to him because I felt like I got to know him properly. And I got to know that basically he portrayed himself to be someone who embodied everything I've ever wanted in a partner. We had so much in common, and it was like the angels that answered my prayers. Really crazy how much we had so much in common, but also the stages where we were in our lives really mirrored each other. But to be honest with you, the stages that we were in were not the best. I had just broken up from a very, very long-term karmic relationship. And so I wasn't feeling great. I was very skeptical of love. I was very harsh on myself. I didn't fully love myself enough. Whenever I thought of the things that I lacked, it felt so grand, like I couldn't really imagine myself out of debt or in a job that I really enjoyed. I didn't really like myself. I didn't like how my hair looked. I didn't like my body. I didn't really love myself, really. My self-worth was not good. And looking back at the situation, I know that my false twin self-worth was not good either. He was in a similar place. He was self-employed, but things weren't going great, and he was just about to quit and work for his parents, which he hated, and he still does to this day. So he's never got himself out of that situation of hating himself. There was a lot of self-loathing that I sensed within him. But anyway, I am getting off track here. So what I'm trying to say is we mirrored each other greatly in the sense that we both lacked. I hadn't gotten myself up to the level where I needed to be with regards to being able to dream about having a better job and having the life of my dreams. So I limited myself to what I felt I deserved. And so before we'd gone on our first date, I was so nervous. Oh my God, I was nervous. I kept thinking that he wasn't going to like me or that he might reject me. I was so nervous and anxious, and oh God, it was tough. I hinged so much on that meeting. I felt like if I screw this up, that's it for me. I'm never going to find a guy that's as attractive as him. I thought he was successful. Little did I know that he wasn't really, but, that was all a facade. He basically wore a mask and portrayed to be everything I've ever wanted, but really reflected all of the negativity and all of the lack that I had within me, which I did not know at the time. And so when we met, I just was so conscious of trying to be funny, trying to be showing myself to be this great independent woman, which I wasn't at the time. I mean, gosh, I was a mess. And I was too concerned with what he thought. I constantly kept thinking, I have to laugh at his jokes. I have to compliment him. Stupid, really. I mean, gosh. I wasn't relaxed, I wasn't myself, and neither was he. And it was a tough journey and a tough lesson to learn. But I needed to meet him. And it sounds stupid, like, why would you need to meet your false twin? But I needed that at the time for the universe to prepare me for greater things. Because I had to go through a dark journey, a very, very dark night of the soul style journey, so that I could truly recognize my real worth, and so that I could get myself out of that depression and darkness that I felt, and value myself in a way that I'd never even done before. And yes, my self-worth did hinge a lot on past conditioning, what other people thought of me. But I had to be shown this in a very dramatic way so I could release that and let it go. And so the contrast I felt when I actually met my true love was so different. I was in a much better place. I'd gotten myself out of the job that I hated. I was on my way up. I felt optimistic. I was in a very cocoon stage, I would say. You know, I was the butterfly preparing my life to be what I wanted it to be. I hadn't yet realized that I could become self-employed and have the business of my dreams and be able to help customers and clients the way I do now these days. But I was on my way up. I was feeling so much better. I thought I was beautiful. I loved my body. You know, my twin made me feel really comfortable and happy about myself. Even before we had met, we were talking, and he would compliment me and say that I was amazing, and I didn't feel like he was lying or blowing smoke up my skirt. I felt that he was being truthful, and I really felt it from him. And so when we met, I was so relaxed. I didn't care. I didn't have this thought of, oh my god, my happiness hinges on this meeting. I was so relaxed. I was so happy, and I was just happy to be meeting him, and I felt so confident about myself. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I was just being myself. I was doing everything I wanted to do, saying anything that came into my mind. I didn't think he was going to judge me. It was great, and I didn't judge him. You know, sometimes when you're on a date and you think, oh, this guy's being quiet, you think, oh god, I'm doing something wrong, but his calmness and quietness was comfortable. Deep down, I felt like this guy knows something, but he's just maybe not saying. But what is something that he knows? And now I know what it is. But at the time, when he was being quiet and just observant and just looking at me, I didn't feel uncomfortable or that I had to say something to lighten the mood. You know, it was like being at home. It was just like being at home, being comfortable. It was beautiful. And I felt accepted for who I truly was. And this is what I need to remember now, because as time has gone past and this journey has evolved, I've started to doubt myself again. And I started to think, oh gosh, but what if he doesn't like certain aspects of me? But really, I shouldn't, because I need to refer back to how we were at the start. I need to remember that he'd never judged me then, and that I could be myself around him. And even if he made little jokes, I didn't feel judged. You know, I like shoes, and he said something about, well, have you got little shoe addiction and a little bit of a hoarding problem? I was like, yeah, I do. And I was laughing it off. And that's what I need to remember. He doesn't hurt me. He would never say or do anything that would hurt me. And I was comfortable. I was myself around him. And that's what I am. I am myself around him, and I need to remember that he accepts me for who I truly am, and that's the difference between the two. And so it's important for us to let go of resentment, to try to not compare them to any people of our past, because this relationship is different. And for anyone doubting, I think I'm getting off topic constantly, sorry guys, but for anyone doubting and coming to me and asking, what's the difference, is this my true love? You will know this in your heart. I know I only gave a brief example of my experience, but I feel that example really shows the difference between the two, and I hope that this helps for you to decide and to realize what your situation is. And for anyone who hasn't found that yet, you will find it, and it will be beautiful. Just keep on believing, you know? The universe is our fairy godmother, and she will provide us with the beautiful gown so that we can go to the party and meet our beloved. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. I said that in one of my previous readings too. It is something that really warms my heart and that comforts me to think, yes, everything is falling into place the way that it should. But yeah, I did have to meet my false twin in order to be prepared for my true love, because really, had I met my true love before even meeting the false twin, I would have not gotten myself out of that state. Basically, the false twin magnified all of the bad points that I really needed to fix, magnified my insecurities, magnified my lack of belief within myself. And so I had to get that out the way first, because had I met my true love then, it wouldn't have been as good as an experience, because I would have constantly been questioning myself and constantly, been doubting everything and not being myself. So things happen for a reason, that's what you have to remember. But ultimately, the universe has your back. The universe sent you here on a mission because you are a love warrior and you can do this. You are powerful and you will make it as long as you just have that tenacity and belief within your heart. You cannot fail. So I hope that this has helped you guys, and if you feel like reaching out to me for help, I'm more than happy to help you. I have a Valentine's Day special running on my website at the moment where you can get a free meditation or free crystal healing audio when you buy a email reading. I'm also offering discounted bundle prices off telephone, WhatsApp readings. What else am I doing? Oh, a 3 for 2 on email readings as well. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to help you, and I thank you all so much for your warmth, your support, your loving, kind words. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so, so grateful to the universe and to everyone that I am allowed to help so many people. So thank you all so much for listening. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.